Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jagrative, Jam Masters. So it's Mother's Day. Trouble is, we've all had different kinds of mothers. What does it mean? What is a mother supposed to mean? It's supposed to mean that which loves you more than life itself. That which will love you no matter what. It's called unconditional love. Complete unconditional love. Meaning, how would you like to be around somebody that couldn't even look at you because they melted? No matter what you did, or what you ever done, or what you will ever do. Just that level of unconditional love, non-judgmental. Even that word non-judgmental, we totally misunderstand it. What it means is, I judge, but I forgive. I forgive. Non-judgmental means there's no judgment. It's not like you're letting go. It's not like I have to do something, even though you messed up, I won't judge you. There literally is no judgment. Humans can't understand that. That's not a human concept. Why? Because the mind judges. It just judges. We'll talk about why and how and what to do about it, but it judges. And when it judges, you close, period. You either open or close, depending on how it judges. I judge I like it, I judge I don't like it. I judge you're good, I judge you're bad. I judge you did right, judge you did wrong. The mind does that. Doesn't it do that? If your mind is doing that, no matter what you think, you don't know what love is. You know what human love is. You know, it's called conditional love. If it judges what I want, I can feel love. If it doesn't, I don't. And obviously, not many things do, and they don't for very long. So, spiritual growth is about that. It's about what's going on there. The Bible says, judge not that ye shall not be judged. The third century patriarch said, the burdensome practice of judging. All right, I understand. But what do you do about it? How do you stop judging? You have to understand why you judge. If you understand why something happens, you don't have to put something on top of it so you don't have to see it or deal with it. You can get rid of it. It can go away. Deal with the root. We just say deal with the root. What is the root of judgment? The root of judgment is a mind, a state of mind, we call the personal mind, that has had experiences across its life or lifetimes, whatever you want. But let's talk about across your life. It's had experiences, and it's held on to some. And hold on to all of them. You can bring them back if you want. You have white lines in the road, you have people you don't know, you walk by, there's trees, you drive by, blades of grass, and lots of things that you experience that you don't hold in your mind. You have memory, can bring it back like a computer, but that's not the same as holding it within your mind. But there are some things that you experience that you hold within your mind. Why? Because you had trouble not holding them. Why? Because their vibration when they came in was either extremely pleasant, and so you wanted to keep it, or was extremely unpleasant, so you didn't even want to feel it. That's the deepest teaching you could ever get. You have to get this. The world is outside. The world has nothing to do with you. The world is out there. You're in here. It comes in. Why does it come in? It comes in because you have senses. That's why you have sensors. Eyes, ears, taste, touch, smell. Okay? There are sensors. They're really sensors. You're computer people. I like it. Things come in. Why? Because they have vibrations. I don't care what they are. Light vibrations, this, sound vibration, whatever, wavelets. They come in because your senses pick them up. Okay? Why do you need senses? The same reason a computer needs sensors. Because a computer lives down in there in electronics. It doesn't live out here in the world. It doesn't know anything about the world. The world has absolutely nothing to do with the computer. And it has nothing to do with you. But you have senses. And it picks them up. And because it picks them up, it sends it through your nervous system, your wiring. It sends it up. And it all is received, comes together in the brain, which is a very complicated nervous system, the most complex part of the nervous system. But that is not where you see or where you hear. It's sort of like saying the CPU and everything comes back and comes into the CPU. That's what it means. No, there has to be an end user. There's an end user who's aware of what's coming up on the screen, who's aware of what's happening. You're in there, your consciousness, your awareness. When it comes up into the brain, and it does, comes up the whole nervous system, picks up the vibration, comes up the nervous system, electronic impulses. It manifests within the brain, all different parts, whatever you want. It then vibrates at a higher level than they've been able to pick up yet. They will someday pick up the mental plane. What is a mental plane? What is a physical plane? Something that's made of atoms, something that's made of the quantum field that vibrates, and then everything comes up. You should know it. I've talked about it enough. It's not that complicated. It is, but it doesn't have to be. There's an omnipresent field of energy, the quantum field. It gets agitated, it vibrates, it makes little wavelets. Those wavelets are so perfect that when they hit each other, they make electrons, neutrons, and protons. And that becomes atoms and becomes this, and it becomes a physical plane. There are way higher vibration rates than that quantum vibration. The universe is infinite vibration, from the lowest to the highest. In electromagnetic spectrum, we didn't used to know about some of those. Our instruments didn't pick them up. And so we defined the spectrum much narrower. As we picked them up with better instruments, it expanded. Well, there are way more sensitive instruments that can pick up way, way more subtler vibrations than what is on the physical plane. How do I know that? Because you are one. You pick up the vibrations of your mind. You have thoughts. You have emotions, don't you? They don't pick up the thoughts and emotions. You do. You stand next to somebody, you feel their emotions, don't you? All right? You pick up their vibes, 60s talk, right? Do you or do you not pick up energy off people? Can you feel it? Okay, that is what's coming in. It's subtler than we have made instruments to pick up. So your mental plane is just a different vibration rate. By the time it comes in, up your nervous system, manifests in your brain, it's collected in your brain, it vibrates. Just like the quantum field has vibrations. It vibrates, and it vibrates the mental plane. And that's what your thoughts are. Those of you who know, talking about the lowest level of physics that we understand, they're just wavelets. There's no particles, they're just wavelets. They vibrate, but then they interact together and they appear to make this world. Well, it's the same thing on the mental plane. The electronic impulses that have come up through the system into the brain cause a wavelength on a higher vibration level. And that's what your thoughts are. So you have thoughts, and then you're back there. The consciousness is picking up those thoughts. You're aware of those thoughts. You're the ultimate instrument that's able to pick up the highest and lowest vibrations of creation. Your consciousness is the highest thing there is. So it picks up these vibrations, and some of them are nice and pleasant, and some of them don't feel good. They're strong vibrations, and some are gentler vibrations. Well, the soul, you in there, the consciousness, that's what the soul is. You, the core of your being, the seed, the essence of your being, consciousness. Okay? Consciousness has gotten lost. It got pulled down into form. And sort of identify with yourself as a body. You identify yourself as your thoughts. In essence, you identify yourself with what you're looking at instead of the one who's looking. When you do that, certain vibrations are uncomfortable. You can't handle them. You're not ready to vibrate at that level. And so you resist them. You push them away. You do that inside. It's the essence of every single thing I've ever taught you. It's the essence of everything I've ever learned over 52 years of doing this stuff is you are in there and you have the power to resist. You have free will. You have hands in there, the hands of will. You can push things away and you can cling to things, can't you? It's so natural to you, but you're not paying attention to what you're doing. When the vibrations come in from the outside and vibrate all the way up there, they're supposed to pass through, just like wind passes through. You don't want to stop wind. You have to fight forever, hold the plywood up to stop wind from blowing past you. It's a natural thing. Let it blow across you. Then you're free. If you didn't do this resistance stuff, if when it came in, you just relaxed and let it run across you, felt good, fine. It felt bad, fine. It's temporal. It just passes through. There's nothing stopping it, but you stop it. You use your will in there to push it away. When you push it away, it stays inside. It can't go anywhere. If I dam up a river, it stops at the dam. It keeps trying to come through, but it stops there. That's what happens with these energy vibrations that come in from the outside. You hold them inside. And then what you do is you end up being uncomfortable inside. Why? Most of what you hold inside are things that bothered you. If something bothers you, you don't want to feel it. I've talked to you about this before. There are things that come in that are so nice that they melt you. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was the most beautiful experience I ever had. It touched me to the depth of my being. That's kind of nice, isn't it? It did touch you to the depth of your being. The sunset, the hug, the relationship, it came in. You did not resist it. You in there, the consciousness, was open. We use the word open and closed. It was so open that what came in melted into your being, like a river falls into the ocean. It can do that. It can flow together. They become one. It came in, this experience came in, and it touched you and merged into you. You say, it touched the depth of my being. I felt like I was in the presence of God. You were. You were in the presence of God. Why? Because you had let go of your personal self and you let creation merge back into creation. That's the highest experience you can have. That's a yogi samadhi. Just melt, gone, bye-bye. When that happens, and that's what's supposed to be happening, there's your mother teaching you something good. You are supposed to be in love and ecstasy and joy and inspiration every single moment of your life. That is how it was created. That is what's meant to be. That is what it means to be enlightened. That is what it means to wake up. That is what it means to live in the presence of God. That's what Christ was. My Father and I are one. Buddha melted into nirvana. That's where the great masters go, the deep, deep samadhis. There's nothing in the way. All that's happening is creation's merging back into creation. God is creating and then experiencing his creation. Like an artist paints something. They don't want to paint and never look at it. Maybe you don't have to look at it. But the net result is they express themselves. They look at it. It's gorgeous. Beethoven, the music in his head, he had to put it out there. That's art. Well, God is the ultimate artist. You watch him paint sunsets. He does very good. Okay? And so the artist created of himself, created the expression of himself. And then the consciousness is experiencing the creation. That's who you are. You are God's consciousness. Your consciousness is God's consciousness experiencing the creation that God made. You don't see all of it, but you see the part that's in front of you at this time. If you get far back, you see all of it. I don't want to get into that. But the net result is when stuff comes in, you resist it. You cling to it or resist it. And most of the time you resist it because it doesn't feel good. Well, make a long story short, is you store a lot of stuff in there, haven't you? Anything from, I broke my arm, to my mother, they got divorced, I didn't get along with it, to they took my blanket away too soon. Go check out psychology, and you'll find out what a mess you made in there. You made that mess. God didn't make that. Don't you dare say, why did God do this? God created a phenomenal universe, trillions and trillions of galaxies, all with hundreds of billions of stars and planets, and oh my God, and then the planet Earth, there's trees and animals and dolphins, every single thing that could ever be. What a phenomenal place. And then God's consciousness came down to experience the creation. How did it come down? Through you. Well, really, through all animals, all living things, is God consciousness experiencing creation. But you are the highest evolved of that. And so, but you're not high evolved enough, you'll see inside. Outside, you got quite involved. This thing's very good. You don't need a better one. The human form, the human being is the highest state of evolution. Look what you can do. You're not a plant. You're not planted, stuck with roots. You can't move. You can't go anywhere. You're able to be mobile, aren't you? You're able to do things. You have thumbs. You can pick things up. Look what you can do. You can do anything. And what you did is you started to create things. But then, like I said, inside, you stared. Let me do it right. When consciousness drops into the body, it is a rather traumatic experience. It was free. It was open. It was not in form. It drops in, and then there's sound and touch and noise and body and all kinds of stuff going on, okay? And it loses itself. It's called a fall from the garden. You lose yourself in the complexity of the input that's coming in. How do you lose yourself? Have you ever gone to a movie and 2 hours go by and you didn't even know what happened? You lost yourself in what you were paying attention to. Well, you lost yourself. You know what I said? That's what happens when the conscious, the soul drops into the body. It loses itself because there's so much noise, there's so much confusion, it's so distracting. It's distracting. It distracts your consciousness. It then becomes totally absorbed and was looking at just like the movie, except you don't come back. The movie, 2 hours over, they turn it off. This doesn't get turned off. And so you more and more not only be distracted by it, you identify with it. And now you say, I am my body. You are not your body. You're looking at your body. You're receiving the message from your body. Who is you? So they can understand you were there before the body. You were there after the body. Consciousness does not come or go. When you go to sleep, your body's not doing anything, but you are. You're in there creating dreams, experiencing the dreams. Consciousness is the highest thing there is. But when you drop into the body, you get lost. You identify with the body. And then what happens? Things come in. You also have a mind. Human beings have minds. Like I said, the vibration comes in. It then vibrates at the mental level, and it creates experiences, thoughts, emotions, etc., etc. And you get lost in those. By the time you're done, you've got this physical world coming in. You got the mental world causing all kinds of commotion, and you got the emotional world. By the time you're done, you're dead. That is a rather distracting thing. It's so distracting that you don't know you're distracted. You know what you call distraction? Getting distracted from that. I was in here trying to do this and trying to do that, and then my mind distracted me. That's really funny. You're completely distracted all the time. It's just a question of what you're distracted from, your distractions, and so on. So what happens is the world comes in, and you don't know what to do with yourself. It's overwhelming thoughts, emotions, this, that. So you try to build some stability in there. How? Because you stored certain stuff, you held it together, stuff you didn't like and you liked. You started building a mental pattern called your ego. That's all the ego is. It's a bunch of thoughts that you glued together, that you held on to over the course of your life. Psychology says man is the sum of his learned experiences. That's what you did. You took these experiences that you held on to, you sewed them together, and you said, I'm this kind of person. I'm that kind of person. I like this. I don't like that. How'd you decide what to like? You had an experience. I don't care if it's a movie, a book. You don't make this stuff up. How would you make up something you never experienced? You don't. You just basically take it in and hold it as good, bad, right, wrong, better, worse. And that's where judgment comes from. It took me a while to get there. Do you understand that? It comes from your past experiences. You judge somebody. Back in the old days, women, they wore their dresses down to their ankles. If they didn't, they got judged. What kind of woman are you? And then it became, the wild 20s or whatever it was, or roaring 20s. I'm going to talk to you as I judge you. What's wrong with you, you old-fashioned woman? Judgment. Which is right. Don't you dare even think about it. It's absurd. It's just basically you've had experiences. You held on to them. How'd you decide what to hold on to? Because you had previous experiences. I really like that person. They tell you first impressions are important. I don't know where they get that. My experience with first impressions is somebody comes in from outside, hits your stuff. It hits what you stored inside, and it causes an impression in there. You're not liking them or not liking them. You're liking you or not liking you. That's all a first impression is. Somehow the vibration or what she looked like or what he looked like or what he said or what he was driving. There you go. They make a good impression. Some of you, all right? He pulled up in a Rolls Royce. Ew. He pulled up in a Rolls Royce. Oh, which is it? That's ridiculous. It's whatever you stored inside, which is based on your upbringing or based on that and based on the experiences you had. And they can change in a moment. Let's say you go, oh, you got a Rolls Royce or a Ferrari. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful, right? And then you're driving down the road and somebody goes flying by, almost hits you in a Ferrari, right? All of a sudden, you change your opinion. Do you change your mind? How long does it take? Bam! These are just impressions that came in. You did something with them. Like maybe that car drove by, you go, whoa, is that cool? What are you going to do with it? You're going to judge it based on you. Your judgments are a reflection of yourself. They're not a reflection of anybody else. You built this model inside. It's not your fault. You built it to protect yourself. That's all the ego is. It's a protection mechanism. As long as things are this way, I'm okay. If they're not this way, I'm not okay. I always ask you at this point, has it ever broken? Has anything ever happened outside that was so outside what you thought was going on, so outside your frame of reference, so outside what you could handle, that it broke and you didn't know which way was up? It happens, doesn't it? Okay, what does that tell you? It's fake. You know who tells you it's fake? Psychology. Why? What's another name for the ego? Self-concept. What's a concept? Something you made up. You're doing everything you can to make it be the way that works for this thing. And that's just your ego. That's just the ego. Is that reality? Of course it's not reality. Can it be reality? Of course it can't be reality. How much have you experienced? You think you're a very intelligent, worldly person. You've been around the block. You weren't born yesterday. Are you kidding me? Take the moment you're experiencing. Here it is. How many moments are you missing that are going on right now other than this one? Everywhere. Is there a number? I don't think they make numbers that big. Every single place there's a moment going on like this. And you're experiencing one of those. So 1 out of 700 billion zillion, you're experiencing every moment. How much do you know? Nothing. It's called statistically insignificant. I know it's tough, isn't it? It's the truth, isn't it? How can you know anything? You haven't experienced anything. Oh, yes, I have experienced 1 out of 700 trillion. And if your mind, your ego, is the sum of your learned experiences, what if you didn't experience this one, you experienced that one instead? Would it be different in there? You bet it would be. But you think what's going on inside your head is real, is meaningful. So a wise person wakes up. It's not a matter of, I've learned to be humble. No, you don't learn to be humble. You understand. You don't know squat. Anything that thinks you know anything is your ego. Otherwise, you just stand there and go, wow. And look to the left. Wow. 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 Look at your past. You experienced 1 of the 100 billion trillion things that were going on at that moment. That's what your past is. You make a big deal out of it? Oh, yeah. You should see what she said to me. What? How long ago? 20 years ago. I never got over it. Well, then there's something wrong with you because it was nothing. That's when judgment goes away, when ego goes away. As long as ego is there, you will judge everything based on the sum of your learned experiences. And you think it's real because you had the experience. I didn't make it up. I met somebody from Afghanistan once. They weren't very nice. I don't have any use for that. Called prejudice, isn't it? Where'd you get your prejudice? I had an experience. My father taught me. I had this. Something happened. And now I know what's going on. Do you answer me? Do you know what's going on? Okay, there. But then what do I do? How do I know what to do if I don't know what's going on? How would I make a decision? Wow. Wow. You must think you're the creator of the universe. You must think nothing goes on unless you do it. That's what you're saying. How will I know what to do? How will I know anything? How will I have experiences? Well, I don't know. How's the sun come up? I don't know how the atoms hold themselves together. I don't know how do 35 trillion living cells make your body. I don't know. How does your mind know how to think? Not what do you think? How does it know how to think? How many things go on that you're not doing? How about 700 billion, zillion, quillion, every single moment are going on that you have nothing to do with, but they're essential for you to do your thing. So I don't know what's going to happen if you're not the doer. Well, let's talk about it. What would happen? What's happening on Mars? Are you doing Mars? Who's doing Mars? Who's doing Jupiter? Who's doing Saturn? Who's doing all the galaxies that stay together? Remember they took that picture of the deep space? Hubble took it, and now James Webb has taken it. They took a part of the universe that was the size of a straw, at the opening of a straw. And they took the part of the universe that was most dark, that no one had ever seen anything. They said, okay, it's just dark. And they took a long exposure photograph. It was Hubble was 2 to 3 days, all right? And they aimed that tiny little bit there. And when they developed it, there were thousands and thousands and thousands, not stars, galaxies. Every single thing. Now we look up, we see stars. Imagine you went to Colorado, top of a mountain, how many stars you see. That's what they saw, and everyone was a galaxy. That's what's going on out there. You the doer? It seems to be doing pretty good. But when I give you it, I just don't understand. I really don't understand anymore. I need to go move out to the woods or something. How I'm asking you, how can a single cell, you know how small a cell is? You need a microscope to look at it. How can a single cell by itself know how to make a baby? Don't you dare think you made that baby. You did not make that baby. A single cell has the wisdom, the knowledge of how to make every single part of a baby. The brain, the liver, the kidney, the pancreas, the pineal gland, every single thing. It knows how to take Twinkies and Coke, break them apart like a chemist, reorganize them to make a baby. And you guys are walking around wondering, someday I'll see a miracle. So are you the doer? Answer me. Are you the doer? And you just, at some point, I wish you would just think about that for a while. How does the Black Forest get watered? Like, it needs water. How does it get water? It's got an irrigation system. God made an irrigation system that the sun, we don't want to talk about that, evaporates salt water. That's going to kill those plants. No. It evaporates only the water, the pure water, minerals, pulls it up. Well, how does it get distributed? It puts itself into this little floating thing called a cloud. What does? The water from the ocean. And it comes up, and then the wind blows it over there, boom, and it waters the Black Forest. You're not the doers. It's a pretty amazing place. Pretty amazing everything. And by the way, all animals make themselves. They're pretty amazing. Come on. How much is going on without you? Then that's what's going to go on. It's pretty perfect, is it not? Is it pretty perfect? Okay. Well, that's what's going to go on without you screwing it up. That's the part you don't understand. You think it's only going to be okay if I make it okay. No, you made it not okay. And now you have to try to be okay. I mean, literally. That is what it meant to be in the garden. That is what Genesis is talking about. Adam and Eve are in God. They're just God experiencing God. That's all that's happening. Are there things, eating things? Yes. There's nature. Nature's nature. Yes. There's all of creation. There's all of creation. And you're experiencing it. And you're open. It's coming in and it's passing through. There's no good, no bad, no right, no wrong, no evil, no better. It's just God, experiencing God. And that's what it meant to be in the garden. But then I told you what happened. You fell. You fell into identifying with what you're not. You identified with your body. I cannot tell the story. I'm not a Bible reader. But in Genesis, the most neatest part of Genesis is what happened when they fell from the garden. God's looking for Adam. It's a real beautiful part. Adam, nothing. All of a sudden, I'm here. What are you doing? I'm hiding. How do you hide from the universe? How do you hide from God? What does that mean? Adam fell into identifying himself as his body. Now he's separate from God. And the most obvious part is when he stands up and God says, whoa, what's that around your waist? A fig leaf. I put fig leaves on a fig tree. I said, don't around your waist. What did he say? I was naked. All animals are naked. Don't judge. Everything's naked. What does naked mean? Naked means I've identified myself with this body, and now I have a life to live that is separate from God. I'm no longer one with the whole. I am this separate thing, and I better take care of it. That's the fall from the garden. Isn't that beautiful? You identified with what you're looking at instead of identify with the one who's looking. Are you ever what you're looking at? You in there who looks at something. Are you ever what you're looking at? Or is it subject object? You're the one who's looking. If you look in a mirror, is there any way that you are the reflection in the mirror? Or are you the one who's looking in the mirror? Well, by the way, are you what you're looking at in the mirror? Look at your hand. Are you your hand? Or are you the one who's looking at your hand? What if somebody took your hand off? Gone. You still there? Do you know your hand's gone? How? You're your hand. No. You are the awareness, the consciousness that is inside experiencing the experience that you're experiencing. I had this amazing experience. Can I tell you about it? No, I want to know who had it. I want you to tell me about who had the experience. See the difference? I want to know what consciousness is. What is the awareness of being who's in there aware of all these experiences? Do you have thoughts? Do you have thoughts? How do you know? Your heart hurts. I like that one. Ever have your heart hurt? How do you know your heart hurts? Because I'm here experiencing it. Who is? You are not a hurt heart. You are looking at a hurt heart. You are not depressed. You're looking at a depressed psyche. You are the highest thing in the entire universe. You're the one having all experiences. Have a dream. Have a dream. Come back. Tell somebody. I had this amazing dream. I was flying, and then this happened and that happened. How do you know you had that dream? Who had that dream? I love the fact that you're using the word I. I came back. Then I woke up. I was flying. Same I. Same consciousness is experiencing the dream as experiencing this world. Okay? That's what it means to wake up. So judgment is because you weren't able to stay there. You got sucked into the experience and you held on to it because you couldn't handle it, or you liked it so much you don't want to let it go. Either way, they're called positive and negative samskaras. You held on to these things. Now something else comes in, it can't come back to you. It hits that stuff first, doesn't it? You hit my stuff. Do you have stuff? Do you get triggered? What I think is hilarious is they say, you have a story. Get into your story. No, don't get into your story. It's just a story. It's just everyone's got one. No, mine's important. It is not. You're telling me I'm not important. You're real important. You're the highest thing in the whole universe, but not the story you're looking at. That can't possibly be important. You just took this moment experience that you had, but it was unique. Yeah, it was very unique. No one's had that experience, but it was supposed to pass through so you can have the next one. And it's supposed to hold on to each one until you can't experience the next one because it's too busy with the ones I had before. If you didn't hold that stuff in there, there's no problems in there. It's nice in there. It's a beautiful day all the time. You're just experiencing the beauty of your being. That's what it means to be in nirvana. That's what it means to be enlightened. What it means to be in God. You're in there and you're having these experiences. Is it okay to have the experience? Of course it's okay to have the experience. That's why God created the universe, so he could know himself. But the fact that you hold on to it because you can't handle it, that's the problem. That's the only thing you ever need to learn. Stuff is supposed to happen out there. Why? Because there's physics and chemistry and laws. There's laws out there make things happen. Then they come in. Fine. Good. I want to experience. You don't want to not have any experiences. It's fun to have experiences. But they come in and you can't handle them. You in there, you can't handle them. And so you hold on to them. And then everything coming in hits them and you have this veil. Everything is experienced through your ego, experienced through the personal self. All right. So judgment is that you built this system inside, and you not only judge everywhere, you judge yourself. You have guilt and embarrassment, and don't you judge yourself? What a mess you made. Now answer me. Did you make a mess in there? Is it a mess in there? Answer me that. Do you have to go outside now and struggle to make the outside fit the inside? Is that what you're doing all the time? Trying to make it so that what comes in makes you feel good and not bad. And it's a lot of work, isn't it? That's ridiculous. This is called a mother talking to you compassionately. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to have anxiety. You don't have to worry. What are you anxious about? That what I don't want might happen, what I want might not happen. What do you worry about? That I want might not happen, what I don't want might happen. And you spend a lot of time on anxiety. Why? Because you made a mess inside yourself by doing what? By not being able to handle reality. Well, what would happen if I handled reality? You would come in, you would experience it. It could feel good, feel bad. Who cares? You go to movies that aren't so much fun. People go watch Romeo and Juliet multiple times. It breaks their heart every single time. There's nothing wrong with experiences. There's something wrong with not being able to handle them. There's experiences. There's hot and cold. There's all kinds of things, aren't there? It makes it very interesting. There's all kinds of colors, all kinds of vibrations. So what? Go ahead, thank you. See, you say thank you for everything. When you walked out of Romeo and Juliet and you were crying, you said, thank you. It was so beautiful. You walked up to the actors and actresses. God, thank you. It was so beautiful. It hurt. It tore my heart apart. Thank you so much. Why can't you live like that? How would you like to live like that? It's called being free. Jivan Mukta, a liberated soul. That's all that's going on. So that what happened is you were not able to handle things, so you held them inside. You suppressed them. You resisted them. And now you built this mess inside your mind. And now you have a problem. The problem is the world won't behave, will it? So let's talk about love. Now we talked about judgment. We'll talk about love. It's Mother's Day. We'll talk about love. What is love? Love is your natural state of being. Love is what you feel inside yourself when you're not blocked, isn't it? Well, how come I love certain people and not others? Because you have all kinds of judgment in there. And when something out there matches your judgments, the way you like it to be, you open. You feel safe. Around you, I feel safe. I've never felt that before. I'm so comfortable around you. I think I love you. There you go. In other words, somehow your vibration, your behavior, your looks, your way you treat me, you talk to me, whatever it is, opens me. It reminds me of things I liked. But what happens if I do something all of a sudden, after weeks and weeks of getting along, I do one thing that you don't like? I don't like you. I loved you before you did that. Why are you laughing? I loved you before you did that. Now I don't think I can ever love you again. But I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I did that. I'll never do it again. I don't know. I don't know if I can trust you. What does I trust you mean? That I can trust that you will behave the way I want you to. These words we use, they're not so spiritual, are they? Because we've already built this model inside, and everything has to match that model. And so you come to the point where you realize, I got some work to do in here. If I want to feel love, I have to be open. If I want to be open, I have to let go of judging. If I want to let go of judging, I have to let go of my ego. I have to let go of that which I think is me. This is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. Then I can't love. I can only love if it matches every single thing I did. And then if something doesn't, then I don't love anymore. Do you want to live like that? Okay. I say, this is Mother's Day talk. I don't feel like it. Father. You're getting scolded, okay? So you wake up and you realize love is your natural state. Joy is your natural state. If you don't have this stuff going on in there. And so all of a sudden, spiritual growth is not about finding love. You know, he said it beautifully. It was Rumi. Most of you guys are New Age doobies. You know Rumi. Rumi said the following. It is not for you to seek love. It is for you to seek and find the obstacles you have put in their place. Love is already there. You have closed because you built all these obstacles inside, called your ego. It's your ego. It's your self-concept. Can you live without one? Yes. Masters always say, there always has to be a thin veil for you to actually be here and keep enough identification with the body, all right, to stay here. There's a thin veil, but you can live with a thin one, don't worry. So what do you do? What do you do? If you want to have love, if you want to feel love all the time, you have to stop closing. You're closing to the energy flow when you close. Every single time you close. People write me, I don't know why you'll come back because I'm crazy. They write me, they say, well, what about boundaries? You're supposed to have boundaries. That's the funniest thing I ever heard in my life. I'll tell you what. If it stays within the boundary, you get to feel love. If it goes outside the boundary, you can never feel love. How many boundaries do you want to have? So unconditional well-being, unconditional surrender, unconditional acceptance. What is a boundary? That which I put up so my ego doesn't get disturbed. I let some of it happen, but you ain't getting in there. You let go of the boundaries. Wait till you see what happens. First of all, it's very difficult. It's very difficult because you're scared. Why do you have all this stuff? Because you're scared. Remember we said it happened because you fell in here and so it's overwhelming. It's noisy. So you built a house for yourself inside that felt safer as long as everything matches it. It don't feel so safe when it doesn't, does it? You don't feel safe if you think someday it might not. So what do? You learn to open. How do you learn to open? It's not hard. It's not hard to learn how to open. It's difficult for us to do it because we're so neurotic. We're so caught. All right. So I just teach what I've learned over 50 years. Nothing special about it. It's just what I've learned. Okay. I've learned that events happen in everyday life. Forget these traumatic things. In everyday life, the driver in front of you, it's hot out, it's raining, you don't want to get out of your car. Tiny things happen every single day. There's so many people in the elevator. There's somebody talking too loud. Somebody standing too close. There's somebody wearing the dress that you thought was unique to the part. How many things happen that bother you? How many things happen every day that get under your skin a little bit? Well, that's a rough way to live. My suggestion, I'm not teaching you, my suggestion is that if you can't handle those, if you can't stay open during those moments, if you can't handle those, you ain't going to handle the big stuff. If you can't play the scales, you're not playing the piano. If you can't get the ball over the net, you're not playing tennis. So what do? You start with a coach. You start with a ball thrower. You start with scales. Start at the simplest level that you don't even bother doing at that level. Okay? And you make believe you say, I'm going to learn to handle things. Why? Because if I can handle them, I don't have to close. You don't close over white lines. There's all kinds of stuff go by, make it right through. Blades of grass, trees. So you learn to handle things. That's the essence of spirituality. Learn to handle things. Learn to handle things. What do you mean? I mean, every day there's things that you close over, that you complain about, that you get upset about. Learn to instead relax. Just all you have to learn in this whole game of enlightenment, of awakening, is how to relax instead of tense. Remember, it started because you resisted. And when you resisted, you held it inside. Like you literally could get by, if you're me anyways, you could get behind a driver when you're in a rush. 55-mile speed limit going 35 miles an hour and you can't pass. How long does it take before you get upset? How long does it take before you tell everybody for the next 2 days, oh my God, you have no idea what I went through. You couldn't handle even that. It stayed in there. You resisted it enough to where you're talking about it days later. If you're somewhere in California and a car looks like that, you go the different way. I ain't going there. Aren't we funny? Okay? You have to learn how not to do that. How? The same way you learn the piano. Practice. How do I practice? You're driving behind somebody, it starts getting like that. Relax. Because it requires resistance. To resist requires tension, requires energy. You have to put out energy to resist the other energy, the opposition. What if you relax? Well, relax is judo. Relax is, no matter how strong somebody is, be a blade of grass, not the oak tree. Why? Because a hurricane will take down the oak tree. It doesn't take down a blade of grass. So you relax. Let it pass through. Relax. Relax because it's hot. Relax because it's raining. Relax because you drop some food in your pants. Relax if somebody said, I'm not sure what he meant by what he said. Then say something nice. I don't know. Let it go. For God's sakes, you bother yourself about things that aren't even happening. How about we try right there at that level to relax instead of resist? Wait till you see how much you resist. Wait till you see how much you resist. It's got a constant state. If you're not resisting what's happening, you're resisting what happened. Do you resist your past? Are the things in your past that are still held in there that if they come, if they bother you? Can we discuss that? You know how hard it is to discuss that? It's over. Why did you hold inside of you what's bothering you? You can't be a child again. Your parents can't get divorced again. You can't get dumped in high school again. Then don't hold it in there. I literally don't understand. I understand we do it, but why? Who came up with that idea? It was a very stupid idea. Whoever invented that idea. Let's take the things that bother us the most, the absolute most, hold them inside so they never go away and they stay in there and they keep bothering us our entire life. Wow, what a great thing to do. Do you do it? Okay. Did anybody tell you don't have to do it? No, they don't. They tell you to cope. What does cope mean? I have to live with this. I have to learn to live with this. You do not. If it's happening, come. We'll get the police. We'll talk about it. We'll do everything we can to help you. Yes, we should help people that are being abused and terrible things are happening, right? But it's not happening to you anymore. How about you see how silly that is to hold it in there and at least decide, I don't want to do that anymore. Congratulations. At least you have the intent of realizing you're a beautiful being that has screwed yourself up. The sun is always shining. Do you know that? But sometimes clouds go by. I can't see the sun. I'll tell you what, hold on to the cloud so you remember you don't like it. Just keep it there all the time and remember how dark it gets so you'll never forget how bad that cloud is. Why would you do such a thing? You did it, didn't you? So you just sit there and say, okay, I don't want to do it anymore, but I don't know how not to. Nobody ever taught me. And so you start with these little things. I beg you, listen to me. The tiniest thing. Start practicing letting go. Things are going to happen in this world, and the only reason they're bothering me is I decided they're going to bother me. I told you when I did the interview with Living Untethered, the latest book with Oprah, she said the most important line in the whole book is as follows. The moment in front of you is not bothering you. You're bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. At least let's start with the simple stuff. We can say that. Okay, eventually you'll say it about everything. So basically, you start practicing letting go. How do you let go? How do you do it? I'm telling you, relax. You're in there. You'll see yourself tense. You'll see yourself resist. When you feel the tendency to resist, relax. Just relax your body, relax your mind, relax your heart. Doesn't matter. Just relax. What if it doesn't go away? Fine. Practice. What if I'm playing tennis? It goes in the net. Well, you told me to hold my wrist a certain way. What if it's still in the net? Just keep practicing. It can't not get better. If you practice anything, it gets better. Practice this. Practice letting go. Practice relaxing. Then all of a sudden, you're going to find out. It's all over the world. I said, wow, it works. I'm much happier than I was. Of course you're much happier than you were. You were in there making yourself unhappy. It has nothing to do with the world, at least at this level. The majority of the problems you have, you made. First of all, if you don't believe that, your entire past is over. So if you're bothered by it, you did it. How's that for a statement? It's not supposed to still be in there. Here's a nice rule for you. I try to live by it. I ain't perfect. If it ain't happening outside, it ain't happening inside. And so you just come to the point where you realize you made a mess in there. Don't feel guilty about it. Oh, I feel so guilty now. No. Just relax. Just relax. Relax. Well, what if I don't want to judge people and I find myself, relax. Well, what if I said something I'm not sure? Relax. Keep relaxing. Keep relaxing in there. Keep relaxing. When you relax, it's open. All of a sudden, you start to feel some love for no reason. A leaf will fall off a tree. You'll say, you feel this love. You see somebody, anybody, strangers, anything. You see a color. All of a sudden, your heart will melt. It's not melting because what came in from outside. You're not blocking what's inside. You start feeling this stuff called Shakti. You know anything about Shakti? I want you to know a lot about Shakti. Right now, your energy goes down because you're pushing it down. You're always pushing down, pushing away, resisting, protecting. That's a downward act. When you stop doing that, the exact same energy that you're using to do that starts going up by itself all the time. It's called the rush of holy waters. Christ said, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaves the mouth of God. That's what he's talking about. You're not getting your juice from outside. It's inside. And it starts flowing up and just flows up all the time. Wave your hand across your heart. Boom. Love comes flying out all the time. That's who you are. Every single one of you. But what if I did bad things? It doesn't matter. See, I said it. It doesn't matter. If you let go of carrying that inside of yourself, you learn from it. You grew from it. It's supposed to be like that. Christ just touched people. Forgive your sin, forgive your sin, forgive your sin. Right? Because you believed he was capable of doing that. So you let go. You go to confession. Why? The whole idea of confession is you did a terrible thing. You held it inside. Let's talk about it. So now it's not totally inside. There's reason behind all this stuff. How about we don't hold it inside altogether? Okay? I made a mistake. I hurt somebody. How do you look at it now? I was asked somebody, but I hurt somebody. I feel so guilty. It's been years. How long? 35 years ago. I can't. Where are they now? They're dead. I can't say I'm sorry. Oh my God. What am I gonna... Right. Question. If the exact same situation happened again, would you do the same thing? They say, no, of course not. Then you learned. And what's wrong with that? Right? You failed math in the second grade. Now you have a doctorate in advanced mathematics. Yeah, but I keep going back. I keep going back to those basic arithmetic stuff. I can't believe I failed that. What's wrong with you? You have the right to grow. So you just keep letting go. Keep letting go. Opening, letting go. But it hurts. Of course it hurts. It was stored with pain. It's going to come back with pain. Love that pain. Great master once said to me, it's the pain that ends all pain. Love it. Embrace it. Relax behind it. Relax through it. And now next thing you know, you'll feel the Shakti coming up. Then you'll realize, I like it. I like that Shakti. And you realize that when you close, it's not there. And it gives you the inspiration to not close ever. Okay, there's your Mother's Day talk. What do we talk about? Unconditional love. Unconditional love is not from outside. You don't need that outside. It's inside. And then you realize God is unconditional love. They say God is love. Why? Because your consciousness is the ocean of love. Love comes from there. And as the closer you get back there, the more you feel unconditional love. And then you realize, yes, God is love. If you knew how much God loves you, you'd melt in ecstasy. That's a true statement. Okay. So practice letting go. Thank you for listening. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.